Hey everyone, welcome to Changemakers, a podcast about becoming an irresistible community. I'm Kelly and I'm joined by Susan today, and this is a bonus episode.
Can't wait.
So today on the podcast, we are going to model for you a community temperature reading. This is a tool that we use to express our God-given voice when something might be bothering us, to express appreciations, to express our hopes and dreams, and to give new information to someone that we frequently communicate with on a regular basis. So we're going to go ahead and model our community temperature reading.
Yep, this is one of my favorite tools because it gives you a way, like a format to go through, but it's a little awkward getting used to some of the transitions and the language, but this is my favorite tool. So I can't wait to do this with you because I know it breeds healthy communication. So.
Yeah, so it definitely, you'll notice in listening to us or watching us, again, this podcast is via video or audio. And so you'll notice that it is a little awkward. We've done it a few times, but it still does. It's difficult. It's difficult to do. It's not part of our culture's normal way of communicating, but it is transforming our community and becoming irresistible.
It is. And I've used it in terms of new relationships. So one of the ways that we've implemented this is in new working relationships or new minister staff relationships. And even on the sidelines, I've used this without the other person knowing, just like kind of like starting to appreciate someone and getting to know them, because it's not just a tool to use when there's a minor irritation or something's not going well.
Right.
It's great for your roommate if you're having issues with, living with someone.
Yep.
It's also, again, great for those working relationships so that you can start to build a culture of appreciating someone else and not just working too hard and missing them and missing and not knowing their hopes and dreams. So I love this, and let's get it started.
Okay.
You want to start at the top of...
Yes. So, it's actually the bottom.
Oh, that's right. The bottom of the temperature.
The bottom of the thermometer is appreciations, and then we go on to expressing a problem or issue, a complaint with a solution, and then it's new information and hopes and dreams. So those are the four parts of the thermometer. So I'm going to start with appreciations. Okay. Susan, I really appreciate the grace that you gave me over the past week because I was late on two deliverables, one for the retreat on Saturday and for this podcast. And so I appreciate that you gave me grace and just work with me on when I'm late sometimes. So thank you.
I appreciate that when I do something just completely out of character, that you don't shame me beyond the moment of, again, accountability, that you hold me accountable and you're gentle in that accountability, and then you're also not going to hold it over my head. And that I really appreciate that.
Awesome. I've never been described as gentle before, but I want to be gentle because Jesus was gentle. So great. Okay, so we're moving on now to a problem with a solution or a complaint with a solution.
Yep.
And the language you use for this is I notice and I prefer. So I noticed that you sometimes have an expectation for me to write more content for small groups. And I know that you have that expectation, but I don't think we've ever really clarified the expectation and agreed upon it. Or maybe you think that we have and I think that we haven't. And so maybe I just haven't held up my end of the bargain. Sometimes I feel like maybe I haven't done that. And I would prefer if we could just sit down and get real clear about what it is that you want for small groups, and then we'll agree upon the timing for it and when I can get it done and when that deliverable would be due.
Okay, let's talk about that. Well, Kelly, I notice that we both like to work a lot and really hard when we are on a project together. And I notice that sometimes you'll create content or organize our thoughts in a document and then sometimes share it with me when I'm not necessarily tuned into that project. And then I lose it. So I prefer that if you're working on a project when I'm not and creating a document or content for it, that somehow you alert me to that. I don't necessarily have an exact solution, but somehow alert me to it and maybe give me context for it. And then I'll make a note to obviously review it and be prepared to discuss it when we're both back on that project.
Okay.
But I noticed that.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into that at our next meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Some new information I have for you is that I have 2 vacations planned over the next month that, because I work a lot, that I'm really looking forward to. And while I'm away, I just wanted to ask if you would like step in and lead the discipleship team while I'm away. But I'm going to Florida, and then I'm going skiing in Colorado.
Awesome. Well, some new information for you is that I would like to prioritize creating something a little bit different for Lent this year. So new information is that I would like to have some Zoom forums. So it's going to create some other work for ministers to lean in for our Lenten campaign this year, but it will also involve you doing some decision making and to help me form that sort of new way of interacting with leaders and members after they join this Lent. So it's just a new venture, and I wanted to give you a heads up.
I'm excited for it. And the last category of the community temperature reading is hopes and dreams. So my hope and dream related to my new information is that I would come back rested and ready to work on that new project with you. I just am looking forward to getting some rest and tackling the rest of our kind of season of ministry.
Well, one of the hopes and dreams that I don't know if I've shared with you is that I am involved with a new organization. And although I love my ministry here at work, I would really like to take the time to commit certain hours to that ministry. I definitely think it will also serve the job that I have here, but I would like to take time to do that. And so I'm going to give you a new schedule.
Okay.
But it's my hope that it will just, again, like bring more and more people to know and love Jesus. So it's pretty on mission with everything.
Pretty on mission.
But yeah, I just wanted to share you because it is a new venture with a new community that I'm excited about. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I hope that didn't seem too awkward to you guys, and I hope that you will practice the community temperature reading with someone that you trust and know and love, but also need to communicate well with. So thanks for joining us for this bonus podcast episode on the community temperature reading. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.